It's Tuesday the 24th of February. I'm at the wonderful Gainsborough's print workshop in Sudbury, where I've escaped for a week to stay in Ballingdon Mill. I've got the print workshop to myself at the moment, and I'm all ready to go on trial prints of my 4-plate woodblock. So I've brought my Chinese printmaking book just to remind me of printing techniques, because it's quite a long time now since I did the course. This is my original working drawing, and I'll do a different video to show how I got to this point. And I used a tracing of that drawing to transfer it onto the first wood block, which I've cut already. From that, I then did the rubbing to see how it was going, and a complete rubbing when I'd finished cutting that block. And I used charcoal on a very soft graphite on the back of that drawing to transfer that design onto firstly the back of this plate, and I used that to cut the red, and I also transferred the design using the same technique with the rub down graphite to make a blue plate and also a yellow plate. So I've got my 4 blocks on 2 pieces of wood. These were the drawings that I did, so from a photocopy of my original drawing. These were the drawings I did using photocopies and crayons to work out all of the colours and where they should be. Okay, and when I did the photocopy, I had several of them laying on the bench, and I realised they actually started to look quite good, just laid down randomly. So I then copied some smaller ones. I did a reduction and copied the design over and over again, cut it out, and again reduced my reductions and reduced them again. So these are quite small. If you see them against my fingers, they've changed considerably from the original size. And I then started playing around with them in my sketchbook, and I discovered that I got this sort of line here between the arm and the hands, and these lines here across the bricks, and this one with the face. So I started to think about whether there was any space for a tessellation of this design. It doesn't work at the moment. So further in my sketchbook, these were just random throwing downs of the pictures, but again I like the effect that they have. And I was starting to look at the tessellations and the shapes that occurred, and this is where I stuck several of them down and started to work on colours and overall textures. And having seen the tessellation that was going on, I couldn't then ignore it. I needed to go. I wasn't satisfied with doing my print as it was. I needed to readjust it. So I remeasured it and redrew the design, making sure that I'd got the hair, the bodice, the hand and this brick absolutely in the centre of the block, and it was fine. I was able to adjust the one that I'd cut, and able to. I hadn't got so far in the cutting that I wasn't able to adjust it. I might have got a bit confused over the order that I did things there, but anyway, the end result is this was still the first cutting of this block, and I managed to get the bodice and everything all done. So I then photocopied that and reduced it and stuck it all together just to make sure that the the tessellation would work, which it does now. I just coloured in the dark areas, and I'm pleased with the way that sort of balances across the frame. So here I've got 9 prints all stuck together, and I realised that if I was going to do that as a large print to show off the tessellation, that's actually going to cause huge problems with registration and with having a piece of paper large enough to do all the prints. So what I'm aiming to do, and today is my first session with printing, is to get my colours sorted out today, to print the plates, to work out the different effects of, say, red on yellow or yellow on red or blue on yellow, blue on red, red on blue. Work out which colourway works the best. And then when I've done that, I think I'm going to work, that's what I'll submit, is the different colourways of a single print. And when I've chosen my favourite colourway, I'm then going to work on doing 9 of those prints. If I can get them all on the same sheet of paper, I will, and I might need help from the technician here at the centre to be able to do that. I've worked out that I would need an area, a blank area around the print. So if I'm going to have 9 images, I'm looking at a 60 by 80 centimetre print area, or paper size as a minimum, really. If I can't get them all on the same sheet of paper, which means finding out whether I would be able to get them under one of these printing presses. If they won't all go on the same sheet of paper, I've got a couple of options. One is to hand print them, and I'll try doing that and see whether that works, and that may mean changing paper on something a bit more substantial. I'm a little bit concerned because I've got large white areas, large blank areas, as to how I'm going to need to work out how the best way to ink it up without getting ink onto these areas. And my plan B is if I can't get a big enough sheet under the press, if I can't hand print it, then this is plan C then. What I'm going to do is print individual ones, and then collage them, glue them all together to show off the tessellation design. I've got Hoshi paper, which is quite transparent and which I used when I was doing my Japanese printmaking course. I've got my registration plate that I made for the last woodcut image, and I've bought watercolour inks, which are these aqua colours, which they're watercolour, they're slow drying ones, and I also have the rice paste as well to thicken it and to extend it as well. I've also got a bottle of retarder which will slow the drying, but I've not used them before, so this afternoon is my time to experiment with these and see what I can get. Looking forward to it. This is where I've got to after 2 hours printing. So these ones here on the left, I've got yellow with red over the top, and on the right, red with yellow over the top. Quite like them, but not quite what I'd imagined. The left one is the best orange for the face colour. Here I've got at the top blue with red over the top, and at the bottom red with blue over the top. Again, these are probably the most finished ones when there's blue, because it actually shows up the arm shape of the doll. But probably my second favourite colour combination. The one I would like best at the moment is blue and yellow. So on the left, blue with yellow over the top, and on the right, yellow with blue over the top. The green has come out really nicely, especially on the left-hand end, yellow over blue. You're beginning to get the shape of the doll. not happy with the cutting on the leg. I need to go back and recut that. But this one would almost work just with the black plate over the top, without the red colour at all. I suppose it's because of the yellowy colour looks sort of quite natural. What I could also do is do some colour mixing on. Yeah, what I was saying with this left-hand one, I could colour mix on the plate. So leave the bricks as the yellow and blue, and then perhaps mix an orange for the face and the hands on the plate. So that would actually be moving to a different wood print making technique altogether. At the moment what I'm doing is known as taban printing, so that's one block for each colour and a shared registration. If I started trying to mix and use parts of a block, that would be duban, a technique. So I've just produced this print, which is blue first colour with yellow as the second colour, but I dropped a bit of red in for the cheek and brushed it across the face, so that's improved that print quite considerably. Where I'm missing the red colour is on the shoe and the hand. It's also showing me up quite nicely where I need to recut some of the blue on the dress. I'm quite happy with the direction of the strokes, but some of it needs to be a bit lighter, and also the shading on the leg is looking a bit heavy-handed, if you can have heavy-handed shading on a leg. Okay, so this is the three colours. It was blue first, red and then yellow. The shading on the foot has worked quite well, and I like that area around the ankle. The face hasn't worked so well. The distinction has been lost. So the next one I did, which was a red base with blue on top and then yellow, where the foot hasn't worked so well, but then it looks as though it was a bit weak anyway. But what I did with this one was I put plenty of nori paste in with the yellow, and actually that has worked quite well because it's made some texture and thickness on the yellow. It's made the bricks a better shape as well, so actually I quite like the effect of that. So that's obviously something that's worth bearing in mind for the yellow, probably because it's such a weak colour. They're looking nice and bright and cheerful. The red is a bit dominant, so I need to find a way of knocking back the red. Possibly I could mix it with white and make it a pink. That's going to be an opaque colour then, so maybe that would need to then go on first so that it doesn't cover anything else up. Need to think about that one overnight. This one I've added some white gouache to the red to try and knock it back a bit. Still a bit strong. This one even more so. So yeah, the pink's working better, and I think I can take that back even more. It's showing up where I need to cut away, tidy up my block to get rid of the extraneous colours. On this yellow block in the centre here, sorry, oops, this one, what is it, this one here, what I did there was to, instead of using the pink, to try and just brush some plain red on. I can make more of that, but it's left some quite interesting brush strokes on there which increase the look of a wooden block, so I might try and work on that one a bit more, add some texture in through the printing.